First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from last meeting. If you all had a chance to look those over, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Motion by Glenn.
I'll second it.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same for the claims. Got a chance to look the claims over? If you have, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim.
Second.
Second by Jose. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have the utility rate board with us this evening. Obviously, we have a new charging station out there, a UV charging station. And obviously, I think you all had a chance to look over the rate schedules and things of this kind. So if there's any other questions, we'll certainly be glad to listen to them. Otherwise, I entertain a motion or recommendation, I guess, from you all to move forward with that.
I guess the board all received Mr. Crone's rationalization and report as to how the charges were established. He essentially computed what the average retail customer pays for energy per kilowatt hour, and that's what the variable rate will be. There'll be no parking charge for the first hour, but for the second and third hour, it's $2.50 in order to encourage people to charge and then leave. And then for third and subsequent hours, it's $5 an hour. That's what's being proposed. And the utility rate advisory board, it's your task to review that information and make a recommendation to the council as to whether I believe that's reasonable and should be considered for final adoption.
I only had one question, and it's really has no impact because I don't think we'll have a whole lot of revenue as this state. How do you monitor and enforce the parking fee?
That's what we was wondering the same thing. There's no camera on that charger, is there, John?
Yeah.
No,
Is there a timer on the camera, on the charger?
I think what that implies, you plug your vehicle in, I think I got it, you plug your vehicle in and you leave, walk downtown, you eat, you go shopping. I think the vehicle will click it off when it's fully charged, but you're still plugged in. So I think that's when it counts. That's when it starts. If your vehicle takes 2 hours to charge, the second hour they will get charged for parking.
But is there a mechanism for measuring that time that they're parked there?
A timer within the charging station.
There is, okay.
So if I unplug it onto
Yep, if you don't move your vehicle, you don't know.
right, that's what.
It'd be hard to enforce like
Taking up
that.
the next customer's
That's
spot.
Plugging it in and then leave for 4 hours and come back, and it's still plugged in, but it's not charging.
So they would have to come back and unplug it and then leave the car and then go back someplace else.
That's just,
So if somebody did that, wouldn't you just have unauthorized vehicles or vehicles parked but not charging will be towed at the owner's expense
Put
and
that sign up.
they'll get a $100 fee from cars?
It gets to be a problem.
I can't imagine at this point that we,
But it's coming.
It's coming.
well, yeah, I see it all over.
Yeah.
So,
We can add a sign to it if it does, we see a problem developing.
And we do have cameras. If somebody would turn someone in,
Yeah, if we can,
it's more of a curiosity question of that.
guess we can play it by ear and see if there's any problems that arise with it.
Is there a sign marking no, do not block unless charging because they have a basketball game? Okay.
Yeah, we got that sign up.
I guess who will end up policing it and who will prevent if I go charge, because this isn't a supercharger, you might get 18 miles out of an hour charge, where I go charge, come back, unplug it, and then plug it back in to get a charge and do that several times throughout the day to get a,
Isn't there a card that has to go in every time you just start it, to swipe a card?
Swipe a card.
So you have,
those cards would be provided by the city.
No, like a credit card.
Oh, so you gotta put your credit card in.
I think now with a credit card, you can swipe, because the bills do swipe.
So we asked the question, it's not a supercharger, so that means it's gonna take longer for a normal vehicle to charge?
Yeah, from what he's not here, but from what I've seen, it's only 7.2 kilowatts. So on an hour charge, you might get 18 to 20 miles. So it's gonna be local people coming. But down the road, I mean, forward thinking, 20 years from now, this whole street's gonna be filled with minor trucks from the electric.
Might have to have more charging stations.
Well, definitely.
So,
And that was kind of where where do we want to, were you guys going to think about putting them, these simple ones, quick charges for locals? Down at the park, the event center,
right.
and then getting superchargers in that, in an hour's time, you can get 300-400 miles to draw. I mean, if that's the goal, to draw people in to spend money down here and getting those in.
Well, the good thing, this was all came from a grant. I remember correctly.
So that was my next question about the VW grant.
Yeah, so that allowed us to do that right now, and obviously we also have plans later on, maybe down in Market Street Park also, but right now we just have the one, so.
Most of your chargers around this are 220, level 2. Level 3 is the 480 volt, which you'll see in the real big cities like Indianapolis. They run on 480. From what I read, plug into a 480, which is level 3, the faster you charge it, it's going to heat up your batteries. So over time, it may shorten the lifetime of your batteries on a 480 system.
So it's better to charge it slow.
Yes.
Well, it's, anytime you induce heat into a battery, it runs the battery. Long term, it takes life out of the battery, let's say, over a period of time, not once, but.
Like a level 1, which you have in your household, if you maybe on a 120 volt, but you plug it in overnight, it should charge it.
Yeah, slow and steady,
120, which level
wins the
2.
race.
Yep.
So. This is a universal type charger. They all have the same cord, this is the same
Plug-in.
receptacle on their car. Does a Tesla have the same as a
I think you gotta have an adapter. with the Tesla.
Nissan Leaf or whatever?
What's that?
I mean, does a Tesla cord look the same as a Nissan Leaf or whatever?
That's on the vehicle you buy. The Tesla, when you have an adapter, you gotta put on the cord.
So it plugs in differently, so.
So,
So the are the adapters part of the car owner's responsibility, I assume?
Not believe.
I'm not trying to flood with questions that,
This is.
I know everybody's new at this.
Technology.
I should, in my travels, I'm gonna look a little bit more. In one of the places I go, I'm 37 miles from the California border, and there's 6 or 7 Tesla chargers in a parking lot, and there's always 6 or 7 Teslas plugged in there. So I assume as soon as they get out of California, they gotta plug back in.
Yeah.
So,
But to answer his question, if they're still charging, then the hourly rate wouldn't change because they're still charging, right?
No, they get free parking for the first hour. Now, we may have to come back and visit this in a year after it's been in. You may decide, hey, it's too charging $250 for the second hour. Second and third hour is too much because you can't get a charge.
if it takes 2 hours to charge their vehicle,
Yeah. So right now, the variable rate applies, the 11 cents per kilowatt hour applies for the total amount of usage, energy you use. Then there's no charge for the first hour of parking, but it's $2.50 for the second and third hour each, and $5 for
for 6 subsequent hours.
I'm sorry, third and subsequent hours. Yeah. So for subsequent hour.
This machine will calculate how much electricity it's using from the city, and we know if we're making or losing money on that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll make money off of it.
Okay.
That's only gonna give you 18 miles of charge.
Yeah.
You make the rule of 3 on it.
for several hours there probably.
Yeah. And then it's something, I don't know how many people still live overhead up on 4th Street. I don't know if that's been considered, somebody who has one, that may want to leave it plugged in and get their charge. That might be a consideration to look at down the road, because the average battery will cost a homeowner $52 a month to charge, give or take. So the homeowner may use the cities to do that, but I mean, you're still making money.
And we can take a look at that too, to see how many people use it for longer periods of time also, and adjust it accordingly.
So technology is gonna improve on it as the time goes.
Elaborate, you said $52 a month. Is that based on a certain number of miles driven?
About 40 miles a day.
Okay, and so if somebody pulls up and starts charging and they're there for, say, exactly 1 hour, what would that cost?
My calculation just a quick one, was they'll get 18 miles to the gallon, or 18 miles to the hour, and I think
For truck.
it was. And about, if you keep it on there to get 40, which would be maybe about 2 hours, give or take, it's 13.4 kilowatt hours they would use. So take that times 11.
Yeah, $1.40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the question is kind of on the safety side. I know as a city side, I guess you'll do the preventive maintenance, or somebody will contract in and do the preventive
Yeah, we got a
maintenance
contract through the
on
Charter
those.
Point Company.
And then the concern would be, say, if a kid coming down 4th Street would unplug that while it's charging, and you know if they can get shocked, I didn't have time to look to find anything. If somebody would do that, could they? And then the second, taking into consideration, you know, a battery can blow up. You know, we don't have them all through 4th Street yet, but you know, is the place we're going to put it? Risk analysis maybe, that if a battery would blow up, I mean, we can't, as a city, you can't control the age of the car, the age of the battery, the shape the battery's in when they plug it in. But, I mean, something could happen. Is it going to go in a place where there's least amount of damage, least amount of injury? I mean, and that's thinking devil's advocate, but
Well, at the present time, it's already installed.
that can't happen.
So it's actually installed on the backside of our parking lot here at City Hall. So it's out away from most pedestrians are not gonna be back there, let's put it that way. So, and there'll be signage put up obviously to show people where it's at, where it's located too, so.
Toward the back of the lot where
Yeah. Is there a,
much residential.
When he just brought that up, seems like we're okay with this one, but as he said, in the future, we'll need to consider that possibly.
Yeah.
It was just-
is there, we're getting so off target here, but is there a national network or something that, you know, if you're an electric car owner, your car will tell you that there's a charger available in Huntingburg, Indiana, once we register it
It's
or
on a
something?
database.
It's on a database.
You go on there now, and you can see in Jasper, you can see where they're at in Jasper.
Right, I know that, you know, certain car brands do their own, but I didn't know if it did for, whatever, universal style.
Just, you can punch on here, you can plan your trip to where, basically, where your charging stations are at.
You almost have to.
Yeah. You got no choice. Take a generator.
Hey, how do you plan on advertising it? I think the goal is kind of get more people in.
Well, obviously, all of it,
Futuristic.
once it's actually up and operational, they're gonna do social media advertisement, we'll put out advertisements for the public, but we do have it, as well as the signage, as I mentioned before, so.
And making sure that they know that it's not a supercharger. They can get
Yeah.
300, 400 miles an hour and
Yeah.
get on out.
I think the database will do as much as anything.
Right.
I think the cars will, I think your car and your software in your car will tell you that. So,
And once it's in the database, it's gonna tell you exactly what the charger is, how much it's gonna be, and all that type of thing also.
so ours is a 220?
Oh, 220 level 2.
Okay. Do we have a recommendation for the rates?
I think the rate is good.
Okay,
So there's a resolution, you got a resolution, do they have a resolution?
not yet.
Oh, they have it. though.
They just, no, the resolution is basically right here, it's the ordinance, not a
No,
resolution.
there's a resolution also, I'm sorry.
It's URAB 2022-01.
It's just a resolution. Do you have that there?
It's a resolution recommending establishment of an electric vehicle charging station tariff in the city of Huntingburg, electric rates and charges.
Okay, so that's old one, right? 2022, okay.
It's URAB 2022-01.
And just take a motion, second, and a vote by the Utility Rate Advisory Board.
Motion to
Motion was made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.
Does it have to-
Thank you. You can stick around if you want.
Hold on, man. Where you going?
Yes,
You gotta sign first.
Have you got it the original? I was gonna say, you said.
I don't have it.
I'm sorry,
Sign, please.
Do they not have to open their meeting? They just recommend it.
the next step would be for the council to consider introducing the ordinance that you have and setting it for a public hearing. So you have to introduce it and then set it for a public hearing, we advertise.
At a future meeting.
Right.
And then you adopt that in that public hearing.
Thanks, guys.
And there should be it should be on your board pack as far as the actual ordinance Bill was just talking about, or the steps and.
I see that.
Yeah, there's an ordinance here, 2022.
It'd be the same that there one.
Well, it would be, yes, common council's ordinance, City of Huntingburg, 2022-01.
01.
As you explained, we're not proving that tonight. We're
No,
gonna,
you're just introducing it.
Introduce it.
Set it, then by motion, set it for a hearing.
Oh, do we need to set the hearing for the next meeting?
You could introduce it first, and the
It
next
was
action,
It'll be advertised for
action would be to set it for a meeting.
25th? The next meeting, right?
And that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 22-01.
Motion made by Steve,
second it.
second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then that'll be
That's what we have.
published on when, Tom, the 13th?
So then the next motion would be to set it for a public hearing on the,
Oh, gotcha.
what's the next meeting, 25th?
Yes, I'll make a motion to set the
5:30.
public hearing for the charging station for our next meeting, January 25th.
Motion made by Glenn,
I'll second it.
second by Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And Tom, you have that notice?
We'll table that.
It's probably gonna be in the paper
This is already done.
in 2 days.
There's a 10-day, that's.
I think it's on the, I think Amy put it in for the 12th.
She said he did drop the 13th, so I
It has to be
think
published at least 10 days before that.
Well, I had 10,000 of them.
Moving forward, there's a couple of things that obviously the first of the year has to be taken care of that Phil reminded me of this afternoon. One of those was the election of a president pro temp for the succeeding year. Obviously, we'll need to do that.
I've been the pro temp for the past 6 years, and this year it might be a little different for me, so I'm gonna nominate Glenn Kisling, if he would like to proceed on with that.
Nomination by Glenn,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the nomination.
second by Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You've been railroaded.
I've been railroaded.
Second thing is that we have to do for the beginning of the year is to establish the time, dates, and place for regular council and utility board meetings. It's obvious it's already on the calendar, but obviously normally it's second and third Tuesday.
Second,
Second and fourth, I'm sorry, second and fourth,
5:30.
5:30.
5:30 PM Eastern Standard Time.
Council chambers.
Council chambers, so I need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Tim,
I'll second it.
second by Steve, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Next thing on the agenda is that I think you all received information, the fact that we actually have a signed purchase agreement by Dr. Mahmood. We have not signed it yet, but to approve the purchase of the senior center building that we're talking about with the 2+ acres that we discussed before. We just need a purchase resolution to approve that to do that. And then once that is done, then I can go ahead and sign the purchase agreement and get started on that.
Just gonna ask a question, we do have the funds set aside for that, correct?
Yes, I'm gonna take it out of edit funds for this year to start with.
Okay.
Do we need a resolution number, or is that 01 also?
So two.
02 now?
Do you have a considered resolution?
It's a resolution, it's just the one, isn't it?
No, we number
Zero.
we number the ordinances. Yeah, we number the ordinances and the
Same thing,
resolutions.
okay.
Sequentially?
2022-02.
Yeah.
What is the title of that?
A resolution of the common council approving purchase of real estate.
For the next meeting, I want a date of closing or anything like that. We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Sure.
Probably will.
It's subject to a lot of things, you said.
Yeah.
We're lucky you got that far.
A lot of it's the courthouse and the property managers and, you know, the insurance companies and everybody else. A lot of people involved.
The,
Did we do that?
No, we haven't made a motion
Not
yet.
no,
I'll make a motion.
I have one, I just didn't want to look for it.
motion made by Steve,
Motion made.
I'll second it.
second by Jeff, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
Tom, I don't recall that I had everybody sign that.
It's got a signature sheet with it.
Okay, so yeah, we need everybody that we can pass around if we got it.
Can we pass it tonight or do we?
It's a
We pass it
resolution.
tonight. The resolution I'm talking about.
We got the real estate purchase agreement.
Mayor, what do you see the next step being on the senior center after this is done, the purchase is made? There'll be engineers, will somebody have to design? the
Well, there's
layout?
actually, several years ago, we actually had an engineering firm come in, an actual architectural firm, lay it out to a certain extent as to what we could do there. I still probably reached out to someone to see what else we
I
could
got
do.
it set up,
Because, I
so
mean,
it's
I
just a
think
roll call.
that particular
Yeah,
plan originally
yeah,
called for both upstairs and downstairs to be used, and I don't know that we really need to do the downstairs right now. I think we can do the upstairs and get exactly what we need to do out of that. Save us a little money. I know I've already talked to most of the guys from the departments, and they're willing to help out as far as that part is concerned. So I think it's just be a matter of taking baby steps to make sure we get it done correctly and lay it out the way it needs to be laid out get Rita involved in it also.
Will we need to have the state approve our plan or anything, or I don't know how that.
I don't know if we have to have the state approve it or not. I think it's just a commercial building. We just have to make sure everything's commercially qualified for that type of thing. So that would be, I know we talked to John about electric, obviously
It
having
meets,
conduits.
you know, it meets it'd have to meet ADA
Yeah,
and things like that, but I don't know.
They'll have to, since it is a public building, they'll have to be design released by the Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security. So we'll have to have an engineer design it, and it'd have to be
They might be able to, yeah, I think there's a step there that somebody's gonna have to
Stamp something.
stamp something.
Well, obviously, we'll do whatever we can to get it done as
Sure.
inexpensive as
Yeah,
possible.
I get that.
It'd
but-
still be good. So.
Yeah, we don't wanna, we definitely need the stamp though, I think.
Right.
Moving the doors to the center too.
Yeah, moving the doors.
Well, I think that was one of the plans that we looked at. I mean, the original plan didn't have that. The original plan had off to the side in some place. But I think looking at we were there looking at the building that one time, going up the steps, basically looking at it, it's just a much better thing to go right into the middle of the building itself instead of off to the side somewhere. But we'll probably, before we do anything, we'll probably bring the plans before the council too, to let you guys look at it too, to see what you think about the same thing, so we'll get it worked out.
So that was a Baron Pound's second. And so I need to do a roll call.
Yeah, I set it for a roll call. So
Just like.
it's easier than it was.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Duvon.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
That takes care of the signature.
It's easier than passing around for signatures sometimes.
The next thing on the agenda, obviously, is, in fact, I think that's a copy of it in your board pack. It's a repair work on Leak Stadium. I think we talked about this a long time ago, that there's some major repair that needs to be done on the west end of the stadium, as well as even the walkway is concerned. Our game plan is to go ahead and put new chair backs in there and new wooden things in there too, but obviously with the timing of that, we can't get it done before the baseball season starts. But we can do the walkway, and we can do the repair work that could be a hazard for somebody if it falls on somebody. There is a proposal in there as far as an estimate of what it would cost to do those things as far as repair work as well as replacing the deck boards. Well, actually the labor for that, to replace the boards in the main walkway, which happens to be pretty bad right now. This will be taken out of my edit fund as far as payment wise is concerned. And basically I just need your approval. I mean, the park board has to approve it also, obviously. But if I have your approval, we can take it to the park board and go ahead and get the final approval. They're ready to start on it as soon as we give them the okay to do that. So hopefully we can get that done in the winter time here when we got the guys that can do it. They're going to be doing, our own people are going to tear off the old wood. They'll do some repair work themselves if they can before Cypher comes in and do their work. The lumber, I think Dale's already got some of the lumber put aside already.
I'm not at the office, but I talked to them about it, so I don't know if they have or
I
not.
think they have. I think he's already got the lumber to go ahead, so we go ahead and get that done. Was it last week? Okay. So that's ready to go, and they're saying as soon as we get it tore off, they're ready to start on it, so we can get that done. That way it's done before March, as far as the high school season starts. Talking to Mike and Mary about the chair backs, they were probably relieved the fact that we weren't going to try to do all that before the season started, because trying to get the season ticket holders taken care of and things before the season starts, they said, can we just wait till next year, which is a good thing because we couldn't get it done anyway. So it worked out pretty well that way. But I'll entertain a motion to go ahead with taking care of paying that, with subject to the park board approving it.
The 31,000, is that, I'm sorry, I didn't read through this close enough, but that is including us doing a lot of that demolition?
No, that actually is including them doing it all, but they're going to reduce it down whatever we can do for them.
Perfect.
So that was the idea in case we didn't know whether we could get to it or not before they were ready to do that.
Yeah.
We've talked to them a few times, and if we do the work, they're going to take it off the actual total for what we're able to do for them. So
This is basically up to, I assume.
Yeah. That's what
yes, it wouldn't be any more than what's on the sheet here as far as the proposals.
So this includes labor as well, or just material?
This actually includes the labor for them to do the work, but if we do they're going to reduce that down. Whatever work we are able to do, then they'll take that off the actual total.
They'll reduce the final.
Exactly.
Nice.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Jeff,
I'll second it.
second by Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I don't think the park will have any problem proving it either, so.
No. That's where
They're probably ready to go.
Okay, John, you're up.
About the middle of December, call around for some gas meters. You can see on the table, tall meters, that's our normal gas meters we've been purchasing. Nobody had any. And there's gonna be a 54-week lead time when you call them.
yeah, that's
We're getting down to, well, we were down to 20-some meters. And we have Hunter's Crossing going, and now we got a subdivision over by Arlen that's starting to, we got 3 houses under construction, so it's a 49 lot subdivision. So imagine this spring, it kind of slowed during the winter. This spring it's gonna really pick up. So I got 2 subdivisions that have gas meters for. So I called around, we couldn't find any of the normal meters. I did find 50 of the new smart gas meters. So I went ahead and purchased them in the middle of December. And our meeting was canceled in the end of December, so I'd like to inform the council that I did purchase 50 of these for a copy there, $13,942.50. They're available, so I had to purchase them.
Emergency purchase.
Fine. Hope you approve that.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to in order to ratify that purchase.
I'll make a motion to ratify John's purchase of emergency meters.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second.
second by
Glenn.
Jeff got it in there.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So, are those,
So what you see,
Okay, good.
the water meters, nobody really cares about, but you don't see them. They're under the ground, but really, I mean, this is gonna be the biggest change in the smart meter technology. The electric meters, they're gonna look the same as your regular electric meter. The biggest change will be the gas meter. This has moving parts in it. It's what we've been purchasing the last 20 years, 30 years. This front part is the brains of it. That's sends the reads to our meter reader. It's got all kind of moving mechanisms in the top part. It's got a diaphragm in the bottom part, which expands just like your lungs. Kind of recommended these be changed out every 10 years. Perfect world, but normally it don't happen. So we change them whenever they die out. These, there's no moving parts at all. That's pulse. These are good for 20 years. But these are currently $287. These are like $190. But some utilities are not yet converting to the smart meters, so these are being bought up as fast as they can make them. So these were available, that's why I purchased these. Can't hardly get these. Say 54-week lead time.
Is there a difference in quality in them, do you know,
There's no moving parts in this one.
Basically analog versus
or?
digital.
So, I mean, wouldn't that be the right thing to do, is start
Yeah.
going to those, of course,
That
right?
would be my recommendation.
Yeah.
You have moving parts here, that's why they're only 10 years, they
Yeah.
recommend replacing. Sometimes these die out early, sometimes they last, there's some out there 20 years.
Yeah, so it'd be, yeah, that's no brainer to me.
These are,
Same brand. They're both census.
we were having American meters.
Okay, but that's a census there.
This is a census, because we couldn't get American meters. We found 60 we ordered last summer for the census, because we couldn't get the American. Basically the same meters, same mechanisms, same thing. But this is the future. This little port right here, you take your laptop, you put a port in there, and it'll give you the reads when you're using most gas during the month. Or here, you don't really have a way to know.
Are we set up in Jasper for picking those reads up? Now, is it gonna be working the same way as our water meters work on the tower, or we got to go down the street?
Actually, these are above ground. We won't need no towers, we won't need no antennas. These can be read 9 miles away,
Really?
because it's above ground,
Mm-hmm.
where your water meters are down below ground in
Harder to
a
read.
greenhouse atmosphere. You got a metal lid
Right.
where they need towers. The electric meters and the gas meters, we won't need any towers when we install them.
So we're ready to go now, if we install one tomorrow, right? So we're,
Utility company, board, billing gets with it, right? Will it read the same, the billing, they have to change anything?
We got the software already, same software as the water department uses, we'll just piggyback on them. Last year, when we first checked into these, they were $190. Went to $278 in 1 year. This one was $147 a year ago. Now they're up to almost $200. No surprise to anybody how the prices are going up, and the availability is very limited.
no surprise.
John, when we install, like at a newly constructed home, is the cost of the meter built into that connection charge, or is there a separate charge for the meter?
No, it's built in.
Okay.
We provide the meter as part of that charge. We don't,
$500 tap fee.
yeah, if there's a tap fee or something, they don't, the homeowner technically doesn't buy the meter. It's included as part of that
Tap fee.
fee.
We maintain the meter and
And we own the
we
meter.
own the meter, maintain it.
I think that was a big discussion at one time, that whether if you sell them a meter, technically they own it, I guess.
right, it makes their problem, right?
Yeah.
They just keep spinning and spinning and spinning, we just keep making money.
Do you have any of these in service yet?
No. But like I say, we're getting where we're running out of
Going over?
these meters. So we're gonna have to start putting them in.
So they hang just like like the old meters. They hang just like the old
Yeah.
meters.
They hang right outside under the loops.
Yep.
And you
Just
got
like,
a regulator application on that one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
yeah, the regulator
regular
round,
brown
like
thing.
this.
Yeah.
You'll still have that. Just gonna be this instead of this, hanging
That
on
has
the
a
outside
blow.
of your house.
They have a blow off on it on this side. Is that like a?
No, this is where you check, you can hook an instrument in and check the pressures.
Okay.
That's,
Sharp one, actually. Very sharp one.
So I find it a little eyesore.
I'd rather have that on my house than the big one.
Yeah, really.
Depends on how fast it goes around.
Can we adjust those?
with the census meters, it says real small in the corner, do not paint front cover, where nobody can read it.
Do not paint here. Like a smoke, like the smoke detectors, they always say, do not paint.
Did they spray right over with the ceilings?
John, I have a question. If they put shrubbery and stuff in front of them, is that gonna affect your readings?
No.
They're pretty robust.
We have Roundup. Okay.
Actually, on our electric meters, if they're in a basement or something,
Yes.
they made the smart electric meters to shoot off another meter to shoot to the cloud.
Wow.
So,
Clouds will get full one of these days.
Yep. Fall down.
Basin.
Overloaded.
So what point,
Sky's falling.
at what point, John, do we reevaluate the connection charges as these things continue to get more expensive?
I'd have to get with Buzz and he would have to run an analysis on it. Just like the charging station and all that. He would
How
run-
many? I sit here every month and listen to the report, and do we do 50 meters a year? Do we do 50 gas installations a year? What do we do a year? 100
Have that in 2 weeks,
of your annual?
yeah.
Okay. But I mean, sometimes it's, you got 10 and sometimes it's 2.
But on the other hand, about charging more, if it's gonna last 20 years versus 10, you know.
There's a balance there.
Exactly.
true.
Yeah. You got no moving parts. so-
Right.
Right, so, and
In the long run, it could be cheaper.
it might be more accurate. We might actually get paid for every unit that we sell.
Only if they bring the payment in.
So if you have after 20 years, like I said, the diaphragm, it gets weak, mechanism.
Old and slow.
So in 20 years, actually, how accurate is it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, Bill.
So on future purchases, well, I would get approval to purchase 50 more or 100 more if they become available. These are, like I said, 54 weeks. This is 5 months.
Yeah, I think we need to do something.
I'd get your stock built up because obviously you don't want to slow down the building process because you can't get a gas truck.
You're well aware of that.
Yeah.
Building, slow down.
Yeah. Like I said, I got 2 subdivisions going right now instead of 1, so.
Yeah.
Do you need a,
How many do you want?
I mean, do you need a dollar amount, Phil, or what can we authorize up?
Yeah.
Up to 100 meters or something, or?
Do that, or up to a dollar amount, 30,000, whatever. What do you?
What are you asking for, John?
But, yeah,
I mean, I can stick with the 50. The price is what I'm just a little concerned about. It's going up 30% in 1 year. We get 100 to, if they go up again, do we save that little bit?
So you got 47 lots going into the new subdivision, so that's the 50 right there, basically.
That's in Jasper.
That's what I meant, just for that one
Yeah, and then we got
subdivision.
100
then you got
across
the rest of these,
We got
stage 4 or whatever it
3, and then we got 4 coming on this spring.
So the 50 we got now is not gonna last very long, possibly.
is. I would,
Last until we get another order in 5 months, maybe.
I'm completely fine with up to 100 unless you need more. You
Yeah.
need to say that.
That's, 100 would be $27,885. Providing they.
Or 40,000 next year.
Providing they don't throw an increase in there on me,
Yeah.
because you know how the prices all of a sudden,
Like that.
The one thing is they're not gonna go bad, have it?
no.
No.
I mean, they have an indefinite shelf life, I take
No
it.
shelf life issues.
I'd make a motion to
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to let John purchase up to 100 additional meters if he can acquire them somewhere.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Steve, second by Glenn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
My only question would be if, let's say tomorrow I call in and say I want 100, and they say, well, price just went up, $5 a meter.
Well, it doesn't matter. We didn't give you, we didn't give you a dollar amount. We just
That's right.
gave you 100 meters.
I'll give you 100 meters.
Yeah, you want 100?
Because that's-
Obviously,
Yeah, that's okay.
No.
They know about the price.
That's not a
We-
bad thing to get new customers.
well, we trust that you'll bring it back to us if there's some completely off the grant. You know, $5 is one thing, or $10, but, you know, 200%, you might want to bring that back to us.
I did call them, 2 days ago, and they said it was gonna be the same price,
Okay.
but you never know when you call them tomorrow. Well, we just got.
Well, you just missed that.
How many is,
That was good to the 10th.
Yeah,
how many extras do we have now in stock?
extras.
Yeah, how many of these do you have around right now?
I got 23 of these
Okay.
left, roughly.
So are you gonna use them at first or just?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, 50 of them I got in. Like I said, solid state's a small one, won't go bad.
Because there's no moving parts.
Okay.
Okay, what else you got, John? There's a couple things on here I see. So there's a couple things on here I
We
see.
got more.
Who would spend more money?
Down to our Third Street lot, and was built in 2012. 2013. I went down and bought a good used forklift, $4,900 to use at our Third Street lot. I got some pictures in there that shows what we use it for. I think a couple of you been down to the building I have down there. We did get all the racking donated once again by Touch of Class, which is greatly appreciated. Saved quite a bit of money. Then I went down and bought the forklift. I said 49. It's getting pretty wore out. It's gonna be in need of a lot of repairs. It's basically for indoor. You can see the front wheels. We've been trying to use it outside some when we can to load transformers and everything, but it's pretty tedious going through the rocks with that thing. It's gonna need new lift chains. Some of the sprockets are getting worn. The hoses are starting to leak. It's got the brakes. We had them redone once. They're starting to go bad again. The calipers on them. And it's got some time when you don't turn off the LP, it'll leak off. And if it doesn't start right away, somehow the LP accumulates in that muffler. And when it does start, it sounds like a bomb going off. It blew a hole in the muffler the first time.
Yeah.
And in a closed building, it's pretty loud.
Your diaphragm's leaking die.
So what that is,
Your car, basically, what you would consider a carburetor.
I was seeing the possibility of trading it in or replacing it with a new model. We got 9 years out of this old used one.
Yeah. Any trade-in value on it? Probably not.
I bought for 4,900 9 years ago.
Apparently not.
You'd be surprised that
I
thing.
bet it would get most of that back.
It'll get half that back.
So basically you're just asking for get quotes.
I
Right.
was,
Checked around, there's really no good used ones out there because nobody usually trades them in until they're pretty wore out, from what I gather.
They got a long lead time too.
Yeah, it's gonna be about a year.
Wow.
what kind of weight?
I got a-
Is that
5,000 pounds, 6,000 pounds, 7,000 pounds.
thing? I'm not really sure right offhand,
That looks like a 4,000 pound iron. That's a 4 or 5, I think.
but we got our shelves all pretty loaded with heavy stuff. So.
Yeah.
New ones, I think we got anywhere from 30 to 35 for a new one.
I got a line for you. You need to call me tomorrow.
Okay.
I got a guy.
That sounds weird.
We buy so many a month
I'm
just
sure.
to get ahead of the lead time.
Sure.
We buy 5 or 10 every month.
Really?
Wow.
So we just need a resolution to allow him to motion
I can
to,
hook you up with a guy that can probably find you one,
Okay.
so you won't have to wait a year.
Good using work too.
Yeah.
We kind of, when we call around, they didn't have no users.
Yeah, good news is kind of a oxymoron there when it comes to
yeah.
forklifts.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Motion made by Steve to allow John to get quotes.
Yep. New or used, either one, whatever you want to hit.
Bring back to us is all I said.
I'll second.
Yeah, you need to bring it back, but.
Yeah.
Second by Tim.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Is,
And then I'd like to, I didn't have it on the, approval to get quotes for load of wooden, electric poles. Get pretty low on poles. Last time we bought some, kind of checked around on prices, they went up 30% since the last time we bought them. They're looking for it to go up another 20%. Plus, I think this is the last year they used the pena treatment.
Problem.
So we'll go to a CCA treatment pole. So we'd like to check in to get approval to order a load. That should be 3 semi-loads of poles.
All your lengths?
Wow.
Yeah, all different lengths, but we pretty well run down on, we've been replacing a lot of poles. We've replaced, I think, 3 of them today at Fort St. Henry. The price will up 20% plus pena treatment is going away.
Yeah.
I'd like to fill the racks up down there.
So you.
I'll make a
what are you
motion to
asking for?
allow you to see quotes.
Okay.
That's all you need is a motion to see quotes, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna bring it back to us.
Oh, yeah.
Motion to see quotes by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It's crazy this stuff.
Freight bonus too. Freight.
Yeah, raise out of it.
John, I'd like to ask, I know we have a mechanic here in the city. Is any of the work that needs to be done to get this fork truck up to trade-in or sellable status, something that could that be done in-house, in spare time or extra time?
If you have the equipment to,
I wouldn't recommend it. It's somewhat specialized on part of that, okay?
because I don't think they have the equipment to tear apart forklift, so to speak.
Okay.
Steve,
I-
about that.
I think I would seek quotes with a trade-in, because right now it's unbelievable what the raw metal's worth.
When I bought for $4,900, it's pretty rough shape, but didn't have much money back then.
Yeah.
And then
But now you have a place to really use it, and now you've created a need. Now you need one. When you got it, it was sort of a luxury. Now it's a need.
Unless you want to get one with the right tires for out in the ground.
You want to be able to go outside if you, at least on good days.
Yeah.
And last thing, last time you had reported that we were waiting on, I think Frontier or some other company to remove their wires from the poles behind the gas light. Can you update us on the status of that project?
Actually, today they're moving the PSC trunk line. They're putting a new trunk line on the new poles. It's PSC, the fiber. The Spectrum hasn't been back.
Somebody was there yesterday. I assume it was PSC.
That's Electricom's doing work for PSC.
Yeah, somebody was
Like I say,
there.
they run the trunk line today. And they got the ends hooked up to nothing, then they'll run service drops. So, and they got the reels trailer sitting there today. Tonight I stopped over there and looked. So we're gonna finish up PSC, so we'd just be waiting on Spectrum after that.
Have you heard from them at all?
Good luck.
I bet if,
My daughter's been waiting 6 months for electric for a new house. Can't get her running.
We can give them another call and see if we can get an update on their, all they told us was they'll put it on the schedule.
Well, that's good. So is people using that line? I mean, is people, so if it got cut somehow, they would come right away and fix it, right?
I'm not sure what they use up there.
Just asking. I'm just-
Not that would happen.
No, I'm
Thinking of Bill scratching his head
You
down
need to
there
be
like, oh
more
my God.
subtle. You need to be more subtle, Tim.
No, I'm just saying, if the pole fell down today, would somebody come fix it right away? That's my question.
Yeah.
I'm not
I had some brought my rent house. They wouldn't take it down. Don't worry, I got it. I'll take care of it.
We'll give them another call and see if they can give us an update.
I do it before.
So what's next on that project after, I mean, will you be done then at that point, or is there?
Once they get off the pole, we'll pull the poles out.
Mhm.
Street department's gonna go in and lay their storm sewer,
Or sure, next, and
and
then
then
gas
we'll go
will
in and run the gas main through there, and then
wait until
Would-
springtime and pave.
Let it settle a while, I'm
Yeah.
thinking. You're gonna have every area, square inch of it dug up.
But all of that is waiting on Spectrum?
PSC should be finished up
So
today.
PSC was waiting on, but obviously.
Yeah.
nothing else.
Did you get that? Okay.
I don't think you can rattle them much.
You know,
That's all I got.
Very good.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Bill?
Tom has some surplus property.
Oh, okay.
Is that your, Tom? Gas?
I think it was a list put together by, what you put it together?
We have water, court, and council items.
Here, it's right here.
Which one are we doing?
So these are items that are
it's on a.
determined by the departments no longer needed for their purposes, and you can declare them surplus and authorize their sale. I think generally we have an annual auction at some point, but you have to declare them surplus and authorize their sale at auction.
Do I have a list of this stuff?
Yeah, it should be on
It was
there.
on
And they're
there.
under council, water, clerk, treasurer, auction surplus, right under energy report action.
Yeah, it's it's in documents there.
Council, whoa, what, there you go, sorry. Yes, I got it now. I'm looking right below it. Gotcha.
Just declare the items on this list.
Surplus and authorize their sale at auction.
You need a motion, is what you need.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to make Tom's list surplus here.
Motion made by Steve,
I'll second.
second by Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, Phil.
Yeah, we annually enter into a contract with the Toga Township trustee for the fire protection in Toga Township. They contribute $26,000 toward the fire budget for that service. I think at the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting this past month, it runs in the county runs in the township outside the city for about 10%. It's just a little bit over 10% of the total runs. In the past, Scott has felt that figure was, $26,000 was appropriate. But you have before you an ordinance that would authorize entering into a fire protection contract with the township trustee for the year 2022 at a rate of $26,000 for the year.
Does this have an annual increase, or does it have any kind of an increase?
We've increased in the past, but I'm not sure.
It's been a long
It's
time.
been a while since we have increased it. Of course, if we're gonna increase it, we almost have to give him budget notice, just like we have to have budget.
Yeah,
notice.
it'd be best to discuss that in July, if you're
Right.
gonna do that, so.
Well, that's,
He knows, but
that's the point. Should that be on the budget, agenda for our annual budget for next year, to look at that rate and see if that's still applicable?
I think we discussed that, I think, yeah. Yeah.
Scott said it was.
Scott said that he thought it was still fair.
Okay.
This will be a 2022-03.
03, yeah.
Go for it.
That's the fire protection.
Fire protection. The contract is attached as an exhibit, but
This is an annual event.
Yes.
Right.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Steve, second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So you may, if you choose, suspend the rules and adopt the ordinance the same night it's introduced.
Motion to suspend the
Motion
rules.
to suspend by Tim,
I'll second.
second by Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now you need a motion to accept.
To adopt.
Should adopt.
And then I'll make that motion.
Motion by Glenn to adopt, second by Jose, all in favor?
Aye.
You were shaking your head, Jose, that's why I said that.
You're there.
Where?
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
Do those funds go straight to the fire department, or they?
Fun, they go to you.
They go to the fire department of the city of Huntingburg's general fund.
Okay.
Same thing with the.
And then
the
we
keeper.
also do an annual recreation agreement with Toga Township so that they can participate in our programs, park programs, park and recreation programs. That annual fee is $12,000.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Steve.
Introduce, I guess.
Introduce, yes.
04.
22-04.
2022-04.
Okay.
Motion introduced.
Motion introduced by Steve,
Second.
second by Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to suspend the rules.
Make that motion.
Motion by Glenn, second by Jose, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve, motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Where?
Aye.
Bounds. McFerrin.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
We'll pass around, there's 2 copies of that recreation agreement. I don't know why historically the council has always signed that agreement.
Yeah, I believe
And the
something like that.
Board of Public Works and Safety signs fire agreement.
Yeah.
So you think the clerk will sign that?
What, fire truck?
It's fine. That just dawned on me, like, you know, anyway.
No, I'm just gonna give us
Okay.
Again.
Next thing on the agenda, Tom, is about the utility billing office upgrade.
I don't know, I didn't see that yet. Looking at the county stuff, I didn't look at. Yeah.
Somebody else put it in.
They did. Be primary again.
All right, the people in the clerk treasurer's office, utility billing office, went up to OFS and kind of took a tour to see what was available to update the furniture in the utility billing office to make it more ergonomically correct. Apparently it was OSHA compliant. What we would have here would be OSHA compliant. Josh, Andrew, and Andy Q of OFS came in several times, and everybody kind of shared their needs of what would be needed and how to more easily get around in the office, and it would be kind of more separated than it is now. It has some buffers. And it's really pretty nice. The funding of it would come from probably one of 3 sources: either the utilities edit or the ARPA funds, with the consideration of the COVID protection. The cost is $17,000. $479.20 is what is on the quote. So we just need your approval to get the order in. It's a 16-week lead time for this kind of stuff. So,
The install price?
yes.
Looks good to me. How many years has it been since that's been replaced? Do you have any idea?
Remember? Hasn't been.
Has it been?
91
Since-
or 98?
Whatever it was, 94, or I think it was new.
Well, plus, didn't you say too that something as it is right now, it doesn't meet OSHA standards, the current standard, you think so?
That's,
Good reason to get it.
All right.
I mean,
Need a motion?
I'll make a
motion
motion
to approve the purchase. And there may be a few other things that some cabinets up on top, some plexiglass that may eventually come. But this will get us started.
Do we need to determine the funding now, or just that we have the money?
No, I think, because I think we're looking at the ARPA plan, is basically what we're looking at. Once we put that together, then we can obviously, we've got a few weeks to do this.
Okay.
There's a couple other things that we're trying to put everything together first. And if nothing else, we can always appropriate from something else, change it, whatever we need to do at that point.
Well, if we can't cover our part, I think utility department might be able to cover. I mean, it is utility office.
Yeah. So, but that's something we can decide once we get the ARPA thing all set up, so.
Do we want to say that it would come from one of those three funds? Okay,
One or more.
One or more of those three funds.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a motion, Tim?
Yes.
Do I have a second? Second by Jeff?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? In your board pack, you have for review only, it's the Title VI implementation plan that we have to do for ADA standards, basically. And it's there just for you guys to review. It's nothing to be voted on tonight, but it gives you a chance to go through the plan. It's something that, it's a continuing ongoing effort to meet all the compliance requirements established by the Civil Rights Act and all that type of thing. So, it's there. James has been working on it, putting it together, and so he just wanted you to have a copy of it before anything is voted on, so we'll bring it probably at the next meeting.
In order to be eligible for federal funding,
Right.
we have to from time to time update our ADA policy and our Title VI policy. Those are two policies that prohibit discrimination. One based upon Americans with disabilities, the other based upon race, color, creed, and national origin. So James will be coming before the council to explain those, but he wanted you to have it in advance so you could be looking at it.
So there's nothing to do with it this evening, basically, other than the fact that I just want to make sure you guys take a look at it. The only other thing that I've got,
Is it in the library there? Is it on there?
it should be.
Yeah, it's in the list of
It's down on Title VI implementation plan.
Yeah, exactly. The only other thing we have this evening is that as of last meeting, we talked about the fact that we need to have the council appoint a DZA appointee to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We put out, at least I think I put out a memo, at least talked to you guys last year about anybody that you knew that might be wanting to do that. Steve has given me a name of Riley Schumacher, which is his brother-in-law. I have talked to Riley. He said he'd be more than willing to do that. I think he'd be a good pick for it. So I would certainly entertain a motion by you guys, and that's your choice to make. But motion to approve him as appointed for the DZA.
I've known Raleigh for a long time. He's a very good gentleman. I think he'd serve the city well. I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Glenn.
I'll second it.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there anything from the citizens? Hearing none?
Good journey. Everything.
I'm looking at you, bud.
I'll second it.
So I'm making the council want to say something.
All in favor?
I was waiting for.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?